My name is Katie Toomey. I'm the Executive Director for the Greater Oswego-Fulton Chamber of Commerce. For those of you who don't know me, we are a wholly owned partner of Center State CEO, which covers a 12-region footprint. We are a Chamber of Commerce and Economic Development organization as well. Obviously, here we are, COVID-19, the era of COVID-19. In that time, as an organization, we have redeployed our staff, and we're all focusing on various specialties and areas, including access to capital, regulatory needs, essential functions, medical supplies, hiring needs, community needs, displaced workers, and startup organization needs. We have had over 1,500 conversations with various members of our business community and are helping direct them to various resources that are available to them, and we will continue to do so. We are supporting both member and non-member organizations because we believe it is our duty to support our business community across the region. As I mentioned, we have redeployed our resources. We've had to be thoughtful and nimble and creative, and that has led our events team, led by Shannon Foltz, who can wave to you, and Sarah Broadwell and Lisa Matat, to all be creative and create our webinar series. Today we are kicking off the GOFCC's first event. This is our COVID conversation with our chairman of the Oswego County Legislature, Jim Weatherup. Jim, thank you for attending. We also have Mayor of Oswego, Billy Barlow, and the Mayor of Fulton, Mayor Deana Michaels. So I just want to thank you all very, very much for being here. I know you've been working very diligently for your region, for your cities, and have certainly been collaborating very well together. So I'm going to lay down a couple of ground rules very quickly. We're going to keep everybody on mute. If you have a question, please submit it via chat, and Shannon and Sarah will be monitoring it. We'll do a Q&A at the end. And I think we're ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over to Chairman Weatherup, and then Mayor Barlow, and then Mayor Michaels, and you're each going to give COVID-19 related update for the next 5 to 7 minutes each. So Jim, I think I said my spiel, and I'm going to hand it over to you. How about that?
All right. Well, thank you very much, Katie, and all. It's a pleasure to see you all again. But I don't know that I have 5 minutes worth of stuff. But
listen, whatever you need, Jim. We're all here for you.
All right. Well, anyways, I'm Jim Weatherup, Chairman of the Oswego County Legislature, and again, thanks for having us. So, at this time, as of yesterday morning, we've had tested more than 1,600 individuals, and of those, we've only had 61 determined positive. And of that group, we've had over 50 have come back as recovered. So that's a good point. And we're having a decline in the frequency of the new cases and a continuation of the recoveries. So that's all good. But this is due to outstanding collaboration between our county health department, Oswego Health, our other community emergency service providers, and also the hospitals in Syracuse, obviously. It hasn't been easy. Make no mistake about that. But we're all impacted by it. We have a relatively good participation with respect to the preventative and protective measures that the county leaders in the state and the CDC has been asked to observe. So, but it's not the time to give up. It's not the time to go with too much liberty. We've got a lot to do if we're going to open this region back up, which is some meetings and conversations we've had with other chairs such as Ryan McMahon, and also in collaboration with Mayor Michaels and Mayor Barlow. There's some things we need to do, and there's some, we still have to practice our social distancing. We got to, wash your hands and all the other 5 or 6 bullet points that we have. But if we stay diligent on that, I think we can open up. Hopefully we'll open up before the governor's dates that he's put out there. We're certainly going to ask. We're going to try to get open because our numbers in this region are very low. And we're just hoping for the best. But thank you.
Great. Mayor Barlow?
Thanks. Thanks for including me, and it's nice to see everybody because it's been quite a while, even if it is over Zoom. So much like the chairman said, I'm relieved to a certain extent, but excited to be taking part in finally the reopening conversation, although I think it's still a couple weeks away. But I'm thrilled that the city of Oswego and Oswego County has at least been included in that conversation, because I think it's important, and I'm relieved to see the governor has decided to take that regional approach. And then obviously it's important to have Oswego County in that conversation. So that aside, I'm so far pleased with the way city government has reacted. Immediately we made free childcare available. We partnered with the Oswego YMCA and Little Luke's here in the city to make childcare available even before the stay-at-home orders. Once the governor began to close businesses and shut the economy off, so to speak, we stepped up and made that partnership available, because we recognized the challenge that families faced as schools started to close and parents were still going to work. When we launched that program, we actually put priority on first responders, city workers, and folks who work in the medical field. So doctors, if they work in a doctor's office, first responder, or work at Oswego Health. So proud of that. We've seen usage, and we've initially had it established for only a couple of weeks. And because the usage it's actually been being used, we've continued to extend it. And now we're extending it obviously until at least the end of New York pause, which is tentatively scheduled till May 15th. So proud of the way we reacted there. At the same time, we quickly made $275,000 available to our small business community here within city limits. Kudos to the Oswego Economic Development staff. We huddled and as soon as the economy started to turn off and we realized what actually was happening, restaurants going to 50%, salons, barbershop close, etc. And within about a week, we put that program together. And when we launched it, we pledged to get the $275,000 out the door within 10 days. So we had the 7-day application period where we took in close to 70 applications in 7 days. And we decided to give out the loans in approximately $10,000 increments. So obviously we didn't have enough for all 70 applications, but we did take in the applications, and then from the end of the application period, within about 8 days, we got just about all the $10,000 loans and all of the money out the door. And you guys know how government works at every level. Rarely does anything happen in 10 days. So for our economic development staff, which is an office of 3, for them to get $275,000 out the door, we were pretty proud of that, and we were thrilled to do that. And we think that the list of businesses who received that funding deserved it, and it'll go a long way to help try to bridge the gap from when they were shut down to when they could possibly reopen. In addition to that, city governments tried to make a point to be out front with messaging and to be visible during this entire time. During situations like this, people look to leadership and they look to government leaders at all levels of government, city, county, state, federal. So we huddled with the doctors and staff from Oswego Health, county officials, SUNY officials, and the list goes on, even before the stay-at-home orders. And as soon as this COVID conversation started, before the virus even made its way up the thruway, we had a press conference and tried to show partnership and collaboration to assure the community that we were properly preparing. And then we've tried to have periodic press conferences. I joined the chairman and Mayor Michaels once. Mayor Michaels and I had our own to talk about the closure of playgrounds and so on. And we've just tried to have consistent messaging and firm messaging all along. And really the conversation's pivoting now to reopening. And you can sense the frustration, the anxiety. I think people are, especially business owners, and rightfully so, are getting fed up with being closed, and it's their livelihoods are on the line, the businesses are on the line.
Sure.
Money's tight, and I think the important message now is, although Oswego County is in good shape in terms of data and numbers, it is a regional approach, and we have to A, be good partners, and B, focus and continue to stay at home and continue to stop the spread and keep flattening our curve until May 15th. And the name of the game now is to position City of Oswego, Oswego County, and Central New York to be able to slowly reopen through a slow phased-in process on May 15th. What we don't want to do is let our guard down now, and in the next 2 weeks lose traction and have the data slip into a negative trend. And when pause is supposed to be lifted, Central New York becomes one of those regions where it's not lifted. So really kudos to the public. We had a stop the spread, stay at home order here in Oswego just to hit the message home. We've OPD and OFD has conducted social distancing enforcement details in partnership with Lowe's, Price Chopper, and Walmart to explain to people what they should and shouldn't be doing. And this has all been in a position, all been in an effort to position us so that we can begin the reopening process on May 15th. I will be really upset if we're one of the regions that doesn't get the permission to begin reopening. So that's what people need to understand now. That's our goal as city government. And again, the public's been great to see the amount of traffic, the traffic reduction once that stop the spread order took effect. The general public, for the most part, is abiding by the rules. They understand why we're doing what we're doing, and it's been a long time. I feel that frustration growing. I have it myself as both mayor and as a small business owner. So just continue doing what we're doing, and I'm confident that we'll be ready to go come May 15th.
Great. Well, thank you very much for that status update, Mayor Barlow. Mayor Michaels, how are you guys doing in Fulton? Tell us what we need to know.
Thank you, Katie. I think now more than ever to share our appreciation and thanks for all the work that's being done around the region, the city, the county, is where I want to begin, because I think we all need to hear that. So thank you to the Chamber, and thank you to Center State CEO for this opportunity. This is what collaboration and strong partnerships look like. And to Chairman Weatherup and Mayor Barlow, it's been a pleasure to work with you and alongside you during this, because it's not easy, and strong partnerships are critical during all of this. There's no playbook for COVID-19, and we all came into this and it caught us off guard, and we need to continue to work together through each phase of this process and be strong partners so that we can get through this together and continue to keep our numbers low and continue to keep our community safe, and the health of our community to be the priority. And that's exactly what Fulton has done from day one. I have to commend our community in Fulton. The hashtag Fulton Strong is spreading wildly, because that's what we are. We're a strong community, and during times of crisis and need, we pull together stronger and better than ever, and that's what's been happening across the city. We've been busy. While many businesses have had to close their doors and individuals have been laid off, and the city of Fulton has been down to 50% capacity, as well as other municipalities, we've had to encourage our community to still be active on a new level, be that getting a positive word out there on why it's important to practice social distancing and wear masks, good hygiene, stay at home, and don't travel unless it's necessary. Still support your small businesses through a new way of doing that. Order gift cards or order food for pickup or delivery. Find a new way to do business and still support locally during this crisis. And our approach in Fulton has not been to enforce, but to educate. And that's really important for us. So in collaboration with our police department and our fire department and with the efforts of the county sharing information, we want to educate our community, and that's what we've done since day one. So our police department was equipped with informational flyers that as they drove the city and found an opportunity and a need, they would hand out these flyers to educate the community and make sure that they knew what role we have to play as community members to continue to move safely through this process. My team within our codes department has been reaching out to businesses and making sure that they too know what is an essential business, what is a non-essential business, what are the governor's mandates and orders, what are the restrictions, and what does that mean, and educating them throughout the process so that they too could move safely through this and not get caught up in what could be some negative consequences if they were to continue to do business. In addition, I've had my various departments working with me to focus on the mental health and wellness of our community, and that's really important. It's important always, and I think through all of this, as we move through, the longer we move through the COVID process, we understand the toll it's taking. I echo, the message of Mayor Barlow when he says it's really taking a toll. It's hard, it's difficult, and the longer this continues, the harder it gets. So I've partnered with local agencies and local mental health and wellness experts, and we've gathered some data from them to say, what can we do in the community to be a resource and provide good opportunities? And one of those things we did was call on some of our most vulnerable community, our senior citizens. And we just checked in. We called hundreds of them between last week and this week, and just checked in to say, how are you? Do you need anything? What can we do to help? Part of that was giving out masks and identifying those who needed masks or needed other resources. And we've connected with them, and it was very successful. And it uplifted us as well to connect with the community on that level. We did the same thing with our small businesses. We reached out to a long list of small businesses to gather information, to check in and see how they're doing, to let them share their concerns and their worries, and to start to talk about what it is that we can do as a community together as we look to transition into a reopen phase. And as a result of that, I have created a COVID small business advisory comprised of a cross-sector of the community, the business community, so that we can start planning now. We need to start planning now. We need to talk about, we're in survival mode right now, but now it's time to start transitioning into the next phase of this. How do we start to recover from COVID? And then what's that long-term plan of sustainability and resiliency? So I think it's important that we bring a cross-sector of the community together, the business community together, and start having that conversation now and get to work now on that. Yesterday, we had a great success with a milk giveaway. We gave 900 gallons of milk away to the community and 500 face masks as a way to give back. And that was in partnership with the Salvation Army and our friends and partners at Eagle Beverage. Thank you for providing the refrigerated truck. And we partnered with Golden Sun Bus to deliver, to help seniors get to the grocery store safely. We also did that. I'm working with a local small business who's taking on an initiative of her own. It's a local doctor to support small businesses in the class of 2020. So that'll be rolling out here shortly. And B&T Sports just started an initiative with small businesses. They made a whole bunch of signs, and they're going to be plastered throughout the city just saying Fulton Strong, and we need to support our small business community. So I'm excited about that. That being said, this has not come without challenges, and we know that. There's a lot of successes that we can talk about given the efforts of the community, but this has been difficult for everyone, and we recognize that. And as a result, we've created a team internally, a COVID response team in Fulton that addresses those needs. We meet almost daily, and our department heads and various representatives throughout the city government are meeting to talk about what are the challenges we face day by day, because we know this changes and it's changing daily, and we need to be on top of those changes. So our police and our fire are also involved at the county level. Chairman Weatherup and Mayor Barlow and I stay in touch, and we report back to the employees of the city of Fulton, because we need to stay on top of this information, because it's going to take that team to start implementing the next phases of this process. So we're continuing to do that. And really, just for us, it's a lot of good communication, creating hotlines, making sure that we're disseminating as much information as we can, as often as we can. At this point, I really don't think that there's ever such a thing as too much information, and we need to get that out there as much as possible and give the opportunity to the community to have a voice and share both their concerns and their appreciation and anywhere in between. So that's what we've been up to in Fulton here regarding COVID. And again, it is heartwarming and appreciative to see so many people tune in today to hear what we have to say and to be so connected during a time of challenges. So thank you for this opportunity again, and it's nice to see everyone on here.
Thank you, and I agree, Mayor Michaels. I certainly think that our audience size has a lot to do with the content that we're talking about. The obviously you guys all participating and collaborating together, and on the topic of community coming together, I can share that the business community has really impressed me. It's incredibly heartwarming for me to see folks like Eagle Beverage working with City BOCES to donate a truck to bring tests to Oswego County. Hudumaki working with you, Mayor Michaels, and the City of Fulton for donate cups. Folks like uniforms, etc., really being able to pivot and sell hand sanitizer, and our folks and our really close friends at Novellis, who are working alongside Quilt with Passion to make PPE and masks for our community. So those are just a few really interesting, wonderful collaborations that we're proud of here in our business community. One thing, now we do have some questions coming in, but I do want to first talk to everyone here, and I don't know who wants to take this question, but we at the Chamber are certainly getting a lot of questions on what funding sources are available beyond federal stimulus. The federal stimulus package, is there anything local on a county level? Chairman, Mayor Barlow, Mayor Michaels, whoever wants to go first, go for it. But I think our business community is certainly interested in hearing if there's anything available for them.
Mayor Michaels here. I'll be happy to talk about that. It's interesting. When I took office in January, we knew that Fulton was in a difficult financial position. And so while we were not able to follow suit with some of what our neighboring municipalities were able to do in terms of creating a fund directly, what we have done is kind of taken a different approach. And that's why I created that small business advisory, is because we need to take a different approach. While we may not have direct funds right now, I have been working with other funders throughout the community, throughout the state and region, to see what we can do. I've reached out to financial institutions, banks, credit unions, and not-for-profits to start a plan of how we can help support and recover our economic, our local economy. I've also worked with the Shinneman Foundation that created a community collaborative, and part of that was creating a community fund for financial support. And I'm happy to report that there were businesses right here in the city of Fulton that have received funding for that. And I'm proud to be a part of that and connect those dots. So what we're doing is we're continuing through our local fiscal oversight committee and working collaboratively with other agencies and businesses and financial institutions throughout the area. We're starting to develop that plan now on what that means for that next step immediate needs, and then continuing to connect those dots for our businesses. And we are open to any conversation that our businesses want to have, just give us a call here at City Hall. But we are working diligently on a regular basis to make sure that we can provide resources to our community.
Great, thank you. Chairman, are there any resources and is there any funding available now still? I think you're muted, Chairman.
I said the host had muted me, but yes, there are some good places to go for information on various resources. One that we have that's pretty comprehensive is the Operation Oswego County website. You can find that at oswegocounty.org and then follow that list along. There's a lot of the state and federal resources on there, as well as links between the county, the IDA, and Operation Oswego County. And they also can be reached at 343-1545. Along those lines, and this is a Chamber of Commerce call, so I'll mention that Operation Oswego County, with cooperation from the County of Oswego and the IDA, we've administered a COVID-19 emergency relief program, 0 interest, 180-day deferred loan for up to $10,000 for Oswego County small businesses with less than 50 employees.
Great.
To date, we've assisted 35 businesses and 17 municipalities with over $300,000 in loans. And so we have $200,000 left in that fund. And if we need more, we'll certainly try to get more. And we're still taking applications. So if you go to oswegocounty.org or again, the 343-1545. And also along with that, Operation Oswego County is a certified development corporation for the SBA. They've contacted all their SBA 504 loan clients to notify them that their loan payments will be made directly by the SBA until September. So Operation Oswego County has also provided 6-month deferments to borrowers in the Advanced Manufacturing Loan Program. So I think there are resources there, and certainly, obviously let us know if there's more that we can do. We certainly will try.
Sure, thank you, Chairman. And just so everyone knows, we will be following up with all the participants and anyone who is attending this call with those numbers and resources and contact information regarding any of those resources afterwards. So don't scramble to write it down. We'll make sure that everyone is taken care of afterwards. Mayor Barlow, how about anything on a city level that we aren't already aware of when it comes to funding or resources?
Yeah, I think Mayor Michaels and Chairman Weatherup touched on it. I already talked about in detail the $275,000 we gave out. In addition to that, we quickly created this flyer that we mailed to every single household in the city. The flyer listed most Oswego restaurants who were doing delivery or takeout. We listed that service, listed their hours of operation and contact info. Again, went to every single household in the city to get them the information, try to explain the situation and put them in direct contact to try to support these businesses as much as we can.
Sure. And to that point, back to collaboration, we are incredibly grateful for our partnership with Step One Creative and I Heart Oswego, who helped us curate a countywide list. I know that there's a Fulton list, a City of Oswego list, and it's another good example of everyone working together. I think there was a point, I think we were all trying to do the right thing at the same time, and I think that it's proven successful so far. So I'm going to move forward a little bit here. We are constantly inundated with COVID-19. Here we are, week 7, working from home. I'm in my dining room. I think there's 2 things that are constantly popping up here on our question board. One, what does moving forward and a reopening approach look like in the county of Oswego and the cities? And then I also want to hear something that isn't COVID related that we have to look forward to when we can get sort of back to normal. So let's start with our reopening plan, or whatever that could possibly look like, because here we are. This is a very fluid situation, and I certainly understand that, and I'm sure everybody on the call does. And then tell me something good. So, Chairman, I'm gonna defer to you first.
All right, well, thank you, Katie.
Sure.
The plan itself, we've been, like I had mentioned earlier, we've been collaborating with our other counties and with the mayors within those counties, such as Onondaga County, Syracuse, obviously big players. Mayor Michaels, Mayor Barlow, been an integral part of that, so that's all good. We do, though, have certain restrictions as far as it's actually the governor's plan that we must meet. He came out yesterday with a 12-point plan. Rather than bore you with me just reading what's there, and everyone could get on the website and read those 12 plans. The biggest one that I see as a challenge is he would like 30 contact tracers per 100,000 people. So in our county, we have 122,000 approximately people. That would make 37 plus or minus contact tracers. We don't know yet who those will be, and obviously who will fund them. We have some indication from New York State Health that they will be doing that, which would certainly be good, but will assist. I think our county health department has done a very good job so far with what they've had, but we don't have 37 people to follow that. So anyways, we'll do that. We'll work on that plan. But as far as a few good things that were happening, we're still ongoing. Government still continues. Business continues. The business of government. We are still actively pursuing, and we're going to do a sewer line project, again, kind of related to Chamber of Commerce type stuff. We're going to do a sewer line out past, in the town of Volney, but it's out past the airport to go to the County Industrial Development Agency. Senator Ritchie and Assemblyman Barkley and others worked very hard on that. It's been over 10 years getting to this point. So that's hopefully we'll get some business in there. But the other kind of thing that's encouraging, we've also still been continuing meetings for the National Marine Sanctuary and like out beyond the port. So if it gets approved by the federal government, that designation will help protect the historic resources at the bottom of the lake and facilitate even more research into the shipwrecks and the assets there. And we really feel that could be a very big cultural and historic tourism draw. So we're still working on our Camp Hollis. We're not positive we're going to open it yet this year, depending on situations, but our bluff restoration and stabilization program is ongoing. So that's what I got for good.
Good. And I know that there are some questions here regarding antibody testing and testing in conjunction with reopening. Clearly that's more of a health department question, but if there's any insight that you can glean for this audience, that would be great as well.
Well, I would just advise them to call our health department hotline, 349-3330. It's manned every day from 8:30 to 4 p.m. rather than me just repeat and get the question slightly wrong or the answer slightly wrong. It's better that if you went right to them.
That's a good response, Jim. I appreciate that. How about you, Mayor Barlow or Mayor Michaels? What do you envision for a rollout or an opening, soft opening, if you will, and tell us something good.
Well, like the chairman said, we are working together at a regional level, and ultimately the governor will let us know how that reopen looks like. But from a Fulton perspective, we're ready, and we need to think about reopening, but it has to be very calculated, very safe, phased-in process. The same way we close down from COVID is how we have to open up. We have to open up in phases, and we have to do it with the health and well-being of everyone in mind. This is a frustrating time, and businesses they're fed up and they've had enough, and we understand that. But if we don't do this right, to Mayor Barlow's point earlier, we'll be back in a situation where we'll have to close down again, or we won't be able to fully reopen. So we have to do this very calculated and carefully and collaboratively, and keep in mind that ultimately it comes from Albany, how we go about doing this. But Fulton's ready. Our numbers are low because our community gets it. They've been adhering and they understand. So I'm confident that as we start to reopen the community and phase this in, that Fulton's going to comply, and we're going to do it right because we want to stay safe. So I look forward to continuing to work with Mayor Barlow and Chairman Weatherup and the rest of those representatives in the region to work through this process and get our economies and get our communities back up and running again, bigger and better than ever. As far as some positive things going on, we have some exciting news in our codes department. We have recently promoted Malcolm Wettering to Bureau Chief, which has been a position that has been absent for a long time. And we've given we're giving our department, if you will, a little bit of a facelift in terms of, due to retirement, we're gonna be hiring someone new in the codes department. And we're really looking at policy and procedure and how we can clean up our city and make it a better place to live, work, and visit. And we know that the codes department is integral in that. So we're kind of putting it through a facelift. And in order to do that, we have to have leadership in place and make sure our team was strong and the right people in place. We've rearranged some furniture and put some new paint on the walls and made it more customer friendly. So we look forward to once government reopens and we're able to introduce the public back into City Hall, that they'll be able to see some of those changes in the codes department and really creating a better customer experience and a more business friendly codes department. And I know that Malcolm and his team are ready to move in that direction. So we're looking forward to that. On the CDA level, for those who don't know, on the Community Development Agency, we are, the mayor and the council serves as the board of directors. And we recently promoted Loie Brooks to Assistant Executive Director of the CDA. Joe Fiamara, the executive director, is retiring at the end of the year. So we're starting that transition and could not be happier for Loie in her new role and for the CDA. And then finally, our DPW participated in a really cool little initiative through Cornell Build a Better Mousetrap competition. And it was focused on local roads program. And they created a municipal sidewalk salt spreader for $45 out of some old parts of a snowblower. And you can actually check it out on the Cornell Local Roads Program Facebook page. There's a nice, cool little video on there. And Fulton is in the running for the top spot because of this neat little concoction that they put together, and it salts our streets in the wintertime. So check that out on the Facebook page. It's a really cool accomplishment for the city of Fulton. That's all I got. Thanks so much.
Great. Mayor Barlow, how about you?
Sure. I just want to finish the last question quickly. If small businesses need any assistance with PPP, our city economic development office is happy to help. We've helped some businesses already, so we understand the process, the forms, and so on. And I would just encourage small businesses to contact maybe the bank that they already do business in. The banks are administering the money, so they can connect the dots and assist you as well. But if you don't have a direct relationship with a bank or want to stop somewhere before, we're happy to help fill out some of the forms, make sure you have the documentation and information that you'll need to get approval. Turning on the economy, it's going to be a phased in approach. Just as the economy was shut down, you saw restaurants were scaled back to 50% and then shut down to takeout or delivery, and then other fields were closed. I envision that almost in the reverse order. So I think you'll start to see construction jobs come back to life, and then slowly that the phases will be reintroduced pretty much in the reverse order in which they were shut off. The reason for the slow approach will be if the phases happen and we see the data go in a bad direction, then we'll have to scale down the economy again in reverse to slow the numbers so that we can manage the situation and keep hold of the numbers and continue to get positive data. So we'll see that play out. I think it'll be a couple of months before we're back to normal. But again, I think that's the right thing to do. And as long as we position ourselves now, I think we'll be one of the first regions to start opening and ultimately return to whatever the new normal is going to be. Other good news, which I'm happy to talk about. If you drive down to Wright's Landing Marina, which I would encourage you not to do, just take my word for it, because there's a lot of construction we have started several projects. So in 2018, we secured a $1.8 million grant to fund about 6 different projects. We're calling the group of projects the Boater Services Improvement Project. These projects were taken from a waterfront feasibility study we did with charter captains, recreational boaters, waterfront homeowners, and businesses near the waterfront downtown area, identifying projects to get more boaters, more people into our marina and to our waterfront. That construction started in addition to our FEMA repairs and our $12.6 million projects from the READY money. So what the construction you see now is just the beginning. It's going to continue to get messier as the summer goes on. So all good things, you know, construction is a sign of progress. You know, there's going to be inconveniences. We're going to lose most of the boating season, and that certainly is inconvenient. But just as we saw the construction in downtown last year, you're going to see the same construction happen on the waterfront this year, and I think we'll be better off in the long run in a better community and a more accessible, enjoyable marina once it's done. So it's going to be a rough year or two down at Wright's Landing, but that's what happens when you're investing almost $17 million into a small area. All good stuff. The city of Oswego is about to invest $2.6 million into Oswego City Hall, a historic building. We won a $500,000 grant. We're tossing in another 2.1 to put a new roof on City Hall, fix some of the stone. There's been movement and disruption in some of the mason works. We need to repair that, new windows, gutters, and so on. I can't tell you how many people remark on our City Hall, how historic it is, how proud we should be, and we need to preserve it because we're lucky to have such a historical City Hall with character. And lastly, I've been asked questions about this project constantly for my first almost 4.5 years now. Say your goodbyes to Midtown Plaza. They've mobilized their demo crew. You'll see the equipment being staged. Demo is currently tentatively, assuming the economy begins to turn on here in May, tentatively scheduled for about mid-June. So as you're passing through downtown, which I would encourage you to continue to stay at home, but if you have to go out for essential travel or essential shopping, take out your last look at Midtown because it's only got about 1.5 months left. So excited to get that project off the ground.
Good. All good stuff. Great stuff to look forward to on a county and municipal level and in both cities. I'm going to start reading off a couple of our questions here, but I think everyone was pretty thorough today. My first question is for Mayor Michaels. Speaking of good stuff, we have the Diarra Project underway. I know that you just answered via chat, but if you could share with everyone here if COVID has impacted the timeline in any way. You are on mute. Okay.
Thank you for unmuting me. Yeah, so I'm excited to report the DRI core committee has been meeting with our state representatives. We got back on track a few weeks ago. There was a delay there and rightfully so. We're back on track. I'm having my second meeting today at 11:30 and we're continuing to update as we go. And I am happy to report I've reached out to all the project owners, and with the exception of just a couple that aren't going to be able to continue for personal reasons, we have all of our projects who are geared up and saying, yeah, we're all in. We're ready to move forward. So we're going to get our final presentation out there and continue to work with the state. And we're very optimistic that DRI is full steam ahead.
Great. Great. I mean, I feel that we have covered quite a bit here. I don't know, would anyone, you know, we're watching these questions. Would anyone here on our panel today like to add anything else? Have we forgotten anything? I can share with you that the Chamber and Center State acts as an advocate and a conduit to all of these resources that are available. So please feel free to contact myself or anyone at my team with any questions or introductions. We're happy to make those for you. Anyone have anything else they would like to add today? Our questions are kind of repetitive and you've answered quite a few of them.
One thing.
Sure.
Mayor Michaels had touched on a milk giveaway. There's also one today by OCO. It's at the Sandy Creek Fairgrounds, 2 to 6 p.m. today. Free milk giveaway.
Great. Great. Mayor, either of you have anything else to add?
I just want to make sure everyone, knows that Fulton is here to be a support and for everyone to stay strong and healthy, and we're going to get through this.
Great. How about you, Mayor Barlow? Anything else to add?
Follow social distancing, try to avoid the retail stores. There's no reason to take your family of 4 or 5 into Walmart all at once. Try to stay at home, social distance as much as possible. And again, think of the long-term picture, and just we as a county, we as a region want to position ourselves to be in a positive position on May 15th so we get the green light to begin our reopening phases. So that's what it's about right now. That's my strategy. I know it's the county's strategy, and we think we're on a good track. And thanks everybody for their cooperation. Hang in there and let me know if you need anything.
All right, great. Thank you all again so much. Again, we are going to send out a one-pager with some of those resources and phone numbers, so no need to scramble or contact us after. We will definitely reach out to everybody who registered here today. Also, I'm going to end this call like my entire team does after every single call, and I'm going to tell y'all to go wash your hands and be safe and be well. And thank you all again to our panel, and thank you all to our participants, and stay safe, everyone, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to Sarah. Bye, guys.